Good evening once again. It is the 6th of August 2018, my birthday, in fact, and it's one day after another episode of WOS Wrestling, World of Sports. So this is the review and overall opinion of the episode which aired on ITV on the 5th of August 2018. So here we go. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Out comes new champion Rampage Brown, and he is accompanied by Shah Samuels and CJ Banks, and they say that finally there's a proper champion that the company can be proud of, and no one's got the cojones to fight Rampage for the title. Out comes Joe Hendry, and not much storyline or basis to this. Joe Hendry issues a challenge. Stu Bennett, in the authority role, stands up and just says, the only thing he says is, ring the bell. Straight away, the first match of the night, we've got a match for the WOS Championship, which Rampage is defending against Joe Hendry. Nothing predominantly wrong with this match, but nothing jumped out as amazing or super technical. But again, I stress, nothing really wrong with it. A run-of-the-mill, good, fluid match. Rampage's goons, which is Shah Samuels and CJ Banks, they get involved occasionally, but not enough to actually influence the match. End of the match, Joe Hendry is defeated by Rampage Brown's implant DDT, which of course we saw him use to win the title in the first place last week. Decent match, just nothing special. Perfect as an opener because you don't want to give away too much too soon. Right, next we've got a ladder match featuring Liam Slater against Robbie X, against Gabriel Kidd, against Lionheart. It was really good to see Lionheart in this match because unfortunately Lionheart is probably most famous for, well, this is how I heard about him, is when AJ Styles broke his neck a couple of years ago at a UK house show, and there was like a scandal and disagreement about that, about who was at fault and how they handled it afterwards. It was basically Lionheart accusing AJ Styles of just utter disrespect and lying after that situation happened where he broke his neck for real. But the thing is, it's great to see him because, I mean, obviously, in the last couple of years since he's been in the ring, he's managed to, since he's come back, he's recovered and come back, and he's awesome. He's moving perfectly. He's a quick, lightweight wrestler that does, moves that have a lot of impact. An impressive spot in this match was Robbie X's moonsault from the top of the ladder, and they did the Lucha Underground style camera shot, where they do it vertically above the ring, and they showed it from that angle, which I thought was really cool. Symbolic of the Edge spearing Jeff Hardy from when he's hanging on the I lost it. How do I explain it? Okay, you all remember that spot, the famous one where they shot it from the top of the angle as well. Well, it was reminiscent of that. Edge versus Jeff Hardy, spear from the hanging rope, that sort of thing. However, even with that impressive spot, it was actually Gabriel Kidd who won the match. And what was on top of the ladder? What were they reaching for? It was a contract inside a briefcase, which promised a big opportunity that will be revealed next week. So we don't know what that is just yet, but Gabriel Kidd wins the match. Okay, the third match was a tag team tournament, first round match. Adam Maxted, who appeared in the Fatal 5-Way last week. Adam Maxted and his tag team partner Nathan Cruz against Doug Williams and HT Drake. Always great to see Doug Williams. He's still moving well. He's quick. He's technical. His timing is perfect. And to think that I first saw Doug Williams live, I think as far back as 2001 in Croydon Fairfield Halls. It's great to see him still doing what he does and doing it very, very well. An okay match, standard tag team match. It was long enough to be interesting. Ultimately, it was Maxted and Cruz that won. Maxted did a sideways, at an angle style blockbuster from the ropes, flipping neckbreaker sort of thing. Okay, so we've reached your main event of the second episode of WOS Wrestling, and the last match was the best match. It was the most important match on the show because it was to crown the first WOS Women's Champion, and they saved the best for last. They really did. This was a triple threat between Kaylee Ray, Viper, and B. Priestley, and it was a really good match. We thoroughly enjoyed it. I watched this match with my wife, and she said it was really good as well. If WWE divas or WWE Women's Division wrestlers did this style of match and did a match that was this good, I think it would be suitable for, I don't know, like a WrestleMania or something. The women's match at a WrestleMania event. I mean, it really was that good. It told a good story. Viper's size advantage, the way she connects power moves together, almost like combinations. Really good. I mean, she moves just as fast and just as fluid as the other two competitors in this match, Kaylee Ray and B. Priestley. But she does these awesome power spots. I mean, she uses her power and her size to her advantage. There was a senton in the corner on both the opponents, on both Priestley and Kaylee Ray, and just really, really good power moves. Ultimately, though, it was Kaylee Ray that was crowned the first ever WOS Women's Champion, and she did it with the Chavo Guerrero gory bomb that Chavo Guerrero used to do, his finisher, which was, visually it was impressive because she did the move on Viper, so she managed to lift Viper's size, Viper's weight up onto her back and do the gory bomb special. It was an amazing match, and it would be interesting to see how they promote or what they do with Kaylee Ray from now on. Is she going to be a long-reigning face champion in the women's division? We'll see. So yeah, that's what went down on the second episode of World of Sport. However, I will say a couple of things. The show wasn't as good as last week, but I didn't expect it to be. It was okay. It was enjoyable. However, one thing that I don't like, I've noticed this week. I didn't really notice it last week because I was excited, for the debut of World of Sport. That today I've been overanalyzing it and nitpicking it and just seeing it for what it is as a product. I mean, it's amazing to say the least. However, they've started doing these WWE-style cutaway camera shots during the big moves, and I couldn't be more nonplussed about it. It's one thing I really dislike about WWE programming, when someone's hitting their finishing move and the camera decides to either jolt back or do an instant extreme close-up during the main point of impact of the move. I've always hated when WWE do it, and it kind of depressed me a little bit to see it from World of Sport today. I think it's completely pointless doing it. I mean, what are they trying to simulate an earthquake? Are they saying that the move was so impactful that the whole building shook? That's why the camera is shaking? No, what happens is you actually miss the main point of impact from the move because there's a distracting cutaway, or they do these irrelevant close-ups and fadeaways, quick ones, and I really don't like it. I hope World of Sports production changes that and stops doing it, because from what I understand, I'm not the only one that feels like this after watching yesterday's episode. Okay, so I have been Dim Van Dam. Follow me on Twitter at @TheRealDim. Have a look at my Wrestling Nonsense YouTube channel, Dim Van Dam, and I will see you next week for episode 3 of World of Sport, and I will continue watching with high expectations, because I have been entertained by this show so far. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good evening now.